The episodes in this playlist are presented to you in the form of an audiobook.
If you keep hearing, I can do it on my own after you present pricing, they are not being logical. They're being fearful. The truth is, they wouldn't be on the call if they could actually do it themselves. But most closers don't know how to address these situations and let alone prevent them in the first place. So in this episode, I'm going to show you a fragment of one of our internal coaching calls where I break down a 3-question framework to navigate fear, plus the objection prevention technique that stops these thoughts from even coming up in the first place. Let's get into it.
So basically, right, so I'm closing for an Airbnb offer, and what I've noticed recently, it's a new offer. I've never closed for Airbnb before, but what I've noticed recently is I'm getting a lot of the people who can come in and, price drop comes and, oh, I can do it myself, which they know they can't because that's why they booked on the call. So there's that, which I think I'm having a little bit of trouble with kind of breaking it down and like showing to them without creating resistance that, look, you wouldn't be here if you knew that you could go and do it yourself. But also, like, I know that's a fear-based objection, but it's also what is it else that people say? It's just lack of confidence. They think, okay, coming into this, like, I'm not gonna make any money. Like, they've got lack of confidence in themselves, which is stopping them from wanting to go ahead. So I think with me, I struggle to think of a way to kind of push them without pushing them out, basically.
Yeah. So with those particular objections, my style is always to prevent them.
Right.
So if I am in an offer where I do get a lot of those, I would put some questions in my discovery to prevent that objection from happening afterwards. So what I would do right after pain, right after I uncover problems and pain, I'm gonna ask, just so I can see the rationale, what's the main reason you're considering hiring a mentor to help you get this fixed rather than trying to figure this out on your own? Some version of that question, I will ask, why not try to figure this out on your own? Why are you considering working with whoever, right? Working with Ross?
Now, I do actually have that question in my discovery at the moment. So what it tends to be is people see the price drop and then they essentially think, okay, if they put X amount of money that they've saved into the investments in the mentorship, they start panicking, thinking that what they have left over is not enough to cover the business when it is, but they think that it's not enough money. And so that's where they're like, oh, that's why I want to do it myself. So I have more capital to start for myself. Do you get what I'm saying? So
but
that's where
the problem there, sorry for cutting you off.
No, it's okay.
The problem there is that they see doing it myself as an option.
Right.
They see that as an exit. So what we want to do is we want to close that door. So when they see the investment, they think, oh my God, but I cannot do this myself. So what can I? And then fear will come up or whatever will come up. Right. So if you get a lot of these, here's what I recommend you to do is you put that question right after problems. Is that what? Just say, how long have you been dealing with this issue? Okay, and what has prevented you from fixing it yourself? And why you're considering working with a mentor? Why not just going down the route of figuring things up and just, making the mistakes yourself, for example. And then before you present, you can do a double tie down there. Say, okay, cool. So what I'm hearing, okay, cool, gotcha. Now I understand. I have a great picture of where you're at, but I just want to confirm it with you. Is it okay if I ask you is it okay if I synthesize everything and you tell me if I'm right? Yes. But you just do a recap, and in the recap you say, okay, you're in this. You're here because you're looking for this, this, and this. You're in this situation. You have this problem, this pain. Your goal is to do this. The main issue is that you don't want to try on your own. You don't want to go through that, and you say that back to them again. And that's why you're looking for mentorship. You are at a place where you're ready to start this venture. You don't want to put this off. You don't want to delay this. You want to do it. You know you can do it, but you just need help doing this. Is that what I'm hearing? Yes. So now I'm just sort of like double checking. Now it's very hard if that comes up, but even if it does, because sometimes they can come up again, then you just sort of like realign them. You just remind them of what they said in a way that is not confrontational, right? And you should be able to pass that smoke screen, because typically that is just a smoke screen.
Yeah, it is.
And you just cross pass it, and then you just have the real objection.
Ah, okay, right, fair enough. And then in terms of the real objection, usually if I get past that, well, when I do get past that, I realize that for them it's fear. So
Mhm.
they always have this fear that they're going to come in and essentially just fail. So how would you say it again without pushing them out? I
Yeah.
would overcome that, but not also just giving them the confidence to realize, look, you need the
Yeah.
help. Just
First of all,
what you
you
need.
need to develop the skill, and that's why we're here. You have access to the training and everything. You need to
Yeah.
develop the skill of channeling uncertainty. We all are in this game, especially with fear objections, of being able to take what they say and channel it through a different label, put it into a different label, because that label is what allows us to use our word tracks, is what allows us to execute our reframes, right? So when we talk about handling fear or uncertainty based objections, you at the beginning you start learning one or two fear based reframes. And a fear based reframe is a tool to handle fear. You with me so far?
Yeah.
But in order for you to be able to execute that reframe, you need to take what they're saying and channel it into a specific label that allows you to kickstart that reframe. Put you an example. There's one reframe that is the butterflies reframe, or the nerves in the gut reframe. That's how it's called. The reason why it's called that way is because we can only execute that reframe if we're able to channel them, if we're able to get them to lead them to a place in the conversation where they admit to us that's really what's going on. So they say, for example, yeah, we passed the smoke screen, and they say, yeah, but this is a big decision. I'm gonna have to think about it. And it's not to think about it, because everything we've gone through, is fear. It's fear, right? So there are different techniques, but one is saying, when you say you have to think about it, what I'm hearing is this. Is that correct? You're transforming the words. Or when you say I gotta think about it, is this coming from this place or this place? I'm taking what they're saying, I'm changing the label, the label. So for example, for the butterflies reframe, I need them to agree with me that they're 100% in, they're just feeling a little bit of butterflies, for example, or that they're stepping into the unknown. That could also be. So then when I say, cool, yeah, no worries, 100%. Now, just so I can stay organized on my end, when you say it all sounds good to have to think about it, what I'm hearing is that you're 100% in with the program. This is what you need. This is what you want to do. It's just that you want to make sure that if you do this is going to work for you. It's just having that certainty. Yes. And right now, what's going on right now is maybe a little bit of nerves or a little bit of butterflies because of that. Yes. So now I'm ready to go. Boom. I'm ready to use my reframe. That's the first thing you need to learn how to do, and it's very simple. So when you say, you can probe a little bit. How do you mean by I have to think about it? Yeah, this is a big step. This is da da da. Oh, okay, it's fear. So you go, okay. So when you're saying this, what I'm hearing is this, or when you say I wasn't expecting that price, is that coming from a place I don't have the 6K, or is a big decision? Is a big decision. So they have the 6K, right? So okay, so it would be a case of just the fact that this is you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and you're just lacking a little bit of certainty that this is gonna pan out, this is gonna work for you. Yes. So a little bit of butterflies maybe, but besides that, like everything makes sense. Yes, boom, I go with that reframe, for example,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
There's another one as well that is called I always use when they wonder or they put out there, will this work for me? Or they ask what, but is this really going to work for me? Or they just admit, yeah, it all sounds good, but you always have those thoughts that, will this work for me? Work for them, but will it work for me? Right? So you use that reframe. Or what you can do as well with that reframe, and I'm going to explain that in a second because it's very easy to execute. You can channel people through that reframe. You know, when they say something abstract, you can say, when you say this, what I'm hearing is that everything looks good, but you just want to make sure that it's going to work for you. Same stuff. I'm just doing this channeling, labeling, however you want to call it. And when they say yes, you say, cool, let's break it down. Let's just break it down. So number one, this is when someone says, will this work for me? They have that concern. Number one, do you trust the process? Like, do you feel this process works in general? Like, not for you. Do you feel this process is a proven process? Yes, it is. Why? What makes you say that? Oh, because I've seen a testimonial, whatever, right? Cool, awesome. So the process works. Now, number two, will you follow the instructions? Will you follow a step-by-step blueprint? Because that's what makes this thing work, is the ability of a member, of a student, to come and just follow the process, not reinventing the wheel. So if you come in, will you follow the process, or are you going to reinvent the wheel? No, I will follow the process. Are you capable of following simple instructions, like step by step? If we were to give you a recipe, do you have confidence in following those steps? Yes, I am. Okay, great. Cool. So the process works. You're going to follow the steps. Number three is, not every time you follow the recipe is actually going to pan out. Not every time that people join and starts the process, everything's going to work in the first go. We might need some adjustment. So will you come to us to ask us for help so that we can give you feedback, we can get you unstuck? Or at the very sign of adversity, at the very first time something doesn't work, you're going to hide in the dark? No, I'm not going to hide in the dark. Well, you'll be surprised how many people do that. If you hit a challenge, will you raise your hand so that we can help you? Or will you hide? I will raise my hand so that you can help me. Those are the three things you cover with them. And then once you cover those three things, you say, okay, so if the process works, you're going to follow it step by step. And if you face a challenge, you're going to come to us so that we can get you unstuck, how this is not going to work for you. And you're going to disarm that belief. It's going to be disarmed. Like, yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't. If you do these three things, it will work for you. Yes or no? Yes.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you always do that. It's like, do you feel the process works? And this is very important. I make it super easy here for everybody to see this. But what might happen is that they might interrupt your process with doubts.
Yeah.
So you say, do you believe the process works? Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to work for me. And because of that, you have to interrupt. Don't let them just go that direction, because that's going to give them uncertainty. It's going to feed the room with doubt. Yeah, sure. Hey, hold on. Just don't rush me. You just interrupt, right? Let's go back. Do you believe the process works? Let's isolate you from the equation. The process works. What do you feel? Yes, it does. Why? Why do you feel this process works? Oh, because I'm seeing testimonials, but that's not my question. My question is, will it work for me? It's like, oh, hold on. I got you. No worries. Like, I'm in your team here. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like control the conversation. Now, okay. Yeah. So the process works. Then this, then that, and you just do the whole thing. You know?
Yeah. I like that. That's good. That's really good. I've never thought of that before. I like that.
You can watch the recording and sort of like transcribe it.
Yeah.
And that's one way you can just handle an uncertainty-based objection, for example. You either channel them through it, or if they say that, now you know what to say.
100%. That's really good because a lot of them they just do it to themselves. You know, they know it's gonna work. I confirm it before as well. You know, the temp check and everything, so they know it's gonna work. Then they get and they're like, yeah, but, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
So
We always like to. It is within our nature. Like we always like to believe that we are that special snowflake where it's not gonna work for us.
yeah,
You know, because we all want to feel special. So what you need to do is you just need to help them realize that if this has worked for people just like them or even in a worse situation than them, this will work for them. And the way you can do that is by, if they've seen the testimonials, you ask them, hey, did you see the testimonials? Did you see this person? You can just share a screen. Did you see this person? Did you see this person? Did you see this? Did you see this person? Yes, cool. Do you feel this? Do you feel these people? They all have degrees and they're engineers and things like that, and they're like gifted or something? Oh no, of course not. It was like no, and I'm telling you, this person that you're seeing here, he works at a restaurant. He worked at a restaurant. This person did this. This person did this. This person did this. If they were able to follow the steps and ask for help, what makes you feel that you're not going to be able to do that? What makes you, why? How are you different than these people? Right? And there's like, yeah, I'm not. Hey, you aren't. But if you are, and this is another closing pattern. This is a closing pattern. But if you're not willing to bet on yourself, how can you expect us to bet on you? Okay, that's a closing pattern. At the end, when you're about to close them, you can do that. But if you don't, if you're not willing to bet on yourself, how can you expect us to bet on you? You can. Are you willing to bet on yourself? Are you sure? Then we got you. That's all we need. We need you to bet on yourself. The rest is on us. That's a closing pattern.
yeah.
Put it into practice, and I don't want to
Yeah.
overwhelm. So implement
No,
those two things.
That's perfect. Thank you. Like I will use that. That's amazing. Thank you.
Let me know how it goes.
All right, that is it for this episode. If you like it, smash the like button. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next one.